There we go. What's happening, folks? Sorry for that little intermission there with no sound. Think you guys can hear me now. Weird, man. Sometimes the software is so strange. You know, it seems like the audio is playing and then it isn't playing. Luckily enough, I saw it in enough time. But I think we're good now. If you guys can confirm that, I think we're good now. But welcome. Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Still Basement, aka the Virtual Shore. You guys know I like to call the stadium now the Shore. And that's just what I'm rocking with. So what's up, everybody? Hope all is well. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm doing great. Got a lot to get into tonight. I'm going to do it quickly and swiftly. I will explain that to you here in a moment once we get everybody in. And I'm going to cut the timer on. Let me do that right about now. And let's have at it. So first and foremost, what I'm always going to do is say what's up to the early commenters first. The ones who are here early and often. Jared Devil, Joshua Shields. Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing this evening, Lanisha? Hopefully you are well. If I remember correctly, you are in Florida. You would recall that I was in Tampa a week or so ago. I know it's still hot down there, so hopefully your air conditioner is doing its job because, man, it's just a different type of heat. It's like the sun just jumps on your back. As soon as you step outside, it's just on you. So hopefully Miss Lanisha is staying cool. Black and Gold James. Who else we got? Patrick Lodge, Dietrich Bundick. Drip, what up, Drip? Why Diggy, my good brother, Why Diggy in the building. Chris, Brian Williams, Carmichael, the sports guru, artist Hans. Who else we got up in here? Doc Storm 1. Hello, Miss Odessa. Hello, Odessa. I haven't seen you in a while, I don't think. Hopefully you're doing well. Glad to see you back. Definitely love our lovely ladies of the chat, man. We always got to give them their just due and their respect. Ollie Howard, Bettsburg, Jordan Mid, Lee Sharp, Jack Bauer, C. Antoine Hill, Charlie Brown. We'll read one more name, Andre Romero. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well, my good brother. Let's get into it, guys. Hold on. T-Dab 804. Gotta say what's up to 804. Cap City in the building. 2 up, 2 down. What up? All right, man. Let's get into it. I'm going to give you guys the topics that we're going to get into tonight. Let me pull up my notations here. But we're basically going to talk a little bit, man, about Chris Boswell getting his extension, the current injuries that we know about, those guys who are semi-injured post-training camp, and some of the guys who were already injured coming into training camp, and nursing a couple things. We'll also talk a little bit about what Omar Khan said about Diontae Johnson. That's going to be the main topic for me tonight. And I'll talk a little bit about, some of the guys that appear to be camp standouts so far, the names that you're hearing more and more often. And actually, hold on, guys. I meant to get the numbers here. So let me get those for you. Give me a second. I meant to get the numbers for Chris Boswell. I thought I had written them down. I did not. So I'm going to get those for you right here in a second. So we can go over that. Bear with me, man. Y'all know how we do. It's live, guys. Live television, right? Anything goes. Anything goes. Let me find Chris Boswell's stuff. His contract. All right, I have it here. And I will read that in just a moment. But yeah, that's what I'm going to get into, guys. That's basically going to be what I cover as far as the topics. And yeah, I'm going to be in and out. The reason why I'm going to be in and out, just again, sharing my life with you guys. Hold on, give me a second. One other thing I need to pull up here. There we go. Just again, sharing my life story with you guys. Most of you guys know I commute to DC. It was one time a week. It has now been 2 times a week. It was Tuesday and Friday. And, Technically, I only have to go one day, but with me having a team that I manage, since our entire team is only there 2 days a week, it's only right for me to be there with them. Some weeks I won't go twice. But long story short, man, we took a vote and the department voted against Friday. Now they prefer Tuesday and Wednesday, which in turn means that I have to commute to DC back to back. This is our first week, so I have to go back there again tomorrow. So because of that, sorry, but Terrible Towel Tuesday is going to have to be a little more condensed. I'm going to have to stick to that hour. I know you guys can understand that. I have to be up at 5:30 a.m. I was up at 5:30 a.m. this morning, traveling to DC. It's like 2 hours, a little over 2 hours, both ways. What you want me to do? What you want me to do? So I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware of that, man. I'm going to really stay within that hour because it's, I definitely got to get sufficient rest and things of that nature. And maybe during the season, man, when it's, if I have to stretch it a little bit, I will. But just giving you guys that announcement, Terrible Towel Tuesday is going to be more bop to the point. And, we always make up that ground, of course, with post-game show. That should be back in the fold as soon as preseason starts. So there you have it. But let's get to it. First thing I want to get into, guys, is let's go ahead and talk about those guys who are currently injured and, those who are nursing the injury and those who may be on their way back. So we already know about Minkah Fitzpatrick, the non-football injury, the situation about him when he was on vacation, something to the effect of falling off the bike, injuring his wrist. But Mike Tomlin said you could categorize him as day-to-day. He should be able to participate fairly soon. Larry Ogunjobi, we all know as well that, he had surgery in the offseason. He's ready to go, but they're being slow with him. So, again, saying that he's more day-to-day. You can expect him to be back fairly soon. And Tyson Alualu is something with the knee. That is something to keep an eye on, guys. Remember, Tyson Alualu was injured last year. Tyson Alualu is much older in age in terms of, his age and position he plays. I believe he is already 35. If I'm not mistaken, he's at least 34, but I want to say he might already be 35. So that is something to keep an eye on, man. If he's already dealing with something light here at the start of training camp, got to keep an eye on that. But again, Tomlin said he would classify all of those guys pretty much as day-to-day injuries. So good news, I guess you could say. And not any real significant injuries after a couple days of padded practice. Also, injuries to keep an eye on. Najee Harris. For you guys that don't know, Najee Harris had his foot stepped on, I believe, yesterday. But again, Tomlin is saying it's not anything significant, working him back slowly but surely. And honestly, man, do we really need to see Najee going full strength at training camp? Maybe not. You definitely want to make sure he's come in more prepared and get more mental reps and things like that going into his second season. Excuse me. But I don't believe we really need to see Najee Harris in tackle situations and things like that. He's going to get a little bit of that in preseason. Definitely want him to feel the hits, and I want him to practice, but it's not going to hurt you that he's not a full go as of right now. My biggest concern is the fact that it's not a serious injury. Also, Freiermuth. I think he has a hammy. I think it's a hamstring, but either way, Freiermuth also is not expected to be anything significant. Claypool as well. I can't remember what Claypool's injury was. I think his is also a hamstring. You guys can correct me in the chat if I'm wrong there, but I haven't heard as much about Claypool, so I don't know how significant his is or isn't, but definitely want to keep an eye on that as well. Doesn't sound like anyone has received anything significant, though, as far as the way the coaches are talking and the players are talking. Doesn't seem to be anything significant. And then, the newly acquired, Claypool has a shoulder. Okay, shoulder. All right. And then newly acquired Jeremy McNichols, the running back, came from the Titans. At least that's where I know him from. I don't know who he played with last season, but he also has a shoulder. So, not the best news because I kind of wanted to see what this guy could bring to the table. It seemed like he could almost jump right in and be the number 3, perhaps the number 2, depending on what he brings to the table. Obviously, he's going to have to boot Benny Snell out of the number 2 spot. But I kind of wanted to see what McNichols could bring to the table because he's more of a smaller, shiftier type of guy. And, you know, Anthony McFarland, what's he going to do? What is Mateo Durant going to do? And Jaylen Warren, and I'll speak about Jaylen Warren here in a moment. But, you know, it's kind of unfortunate for McNichols, man, because if he has anything fairly significant, then Steelers might part ways and move on. So we shall see. We shall see. But those are pretty much only the ones that, you know, worth talking about. The Steelers did sign a wide receiver. Forgive me, guys, I forgot his name. Hold on, I can get it for you in just a moment. I have it here. He's an ex-Notre Dame receiver. Some of you guys probably already have it in chat. Where is it? Where's this kid's name? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? There it is. Javon McKinley. Javon McKinley, wide receiver out of Notre Dame. I don't know much more about that, about him. Don't remember him too much. You know, I don't. From college, I don't know who he played with prior to the Steelers, but there you have it. But the fact that he got signed is worth keeping this on. Keep your eye on that because, again, when the Steelers start signing players at certain positions, when another player in that position is dealing with an injury, it is worth keeping an eye on. Why sign a receiver? Is there anything significant in regards to Chase Claypool? Or is this signing just because they want to keep the lines enough rotation so guys are not going back to back to back? Keep an eye on that. Got a couple tweets here from, there's some tweets that Kenyon sent me that I just spoke on Anthony McFarland, and they said Anthony McFarland is showing out a little bit at camp. So that's interesting. I'll check this tweet out after the show. And then also, Mason Rudolph. Hey, he's playing well in practice from what we're hearing. And I'll get into that briefly, too, before we go into the Diontae Johnson news. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time because I want phone calls tonight. And we already had about 48 minutes or so let me keep it moving. The next thing on the agenda, guys, is let's talk a little bit about Chris Boswell. So Chris Boswell has got extended. I'm going to give him a round of applause. Round of applause to the Wizard of Balls. And the reason why I'm going to do that is we all remember that season where we were kind of questioning, should he return? Should he be cut? Competition was brought in. He had a rough year, but since then, Boz has bounced back. He's been nothing but consistent. And in my opinion, he has been the second best kicker in the league. I have to say second best because, listen, Justin Tucker's accuracy as well as the deep ball, if you will. Come on. Justin Tucker is him. He is him. But Chris Boswell is him too. You know, they're 1A, 1B. Boz might not have as deep of a leg, but Boz also was that last season and kicked a 57-yard field goal at Heinz Field. Yeah, it was Heinz then. Okay, Boz. And Boz has been very accurate, right at the top of the league. So, shout-outs to him. And according to his contract, him and Justin Tucker are the highest paid kickers. They're neck and neck. Tied, I think their actual earnings per year is the exact same, and it's well-deserved. Well-deserved, but let me just read to you guys the particulars in case you guys are interested in that. Chris Boswell, I will read here from the little blurb that I have here. Shout-outs to Steelers Depot. That's why I like Steelers Depot, man, because I know I can find the information just like that. They do a great job over there, man. Shout-outs to them. Alex, if you're watching, I know you watch sometimes, man. I really appreciate you doing that. We converse a lot on Twitter as well. But shout-outs to you and Dave, the great work, and everybody else over there. You know, there's a lot of other names. But as it says here, Boswell has an extension, his new money value of $20 million. The total value of all 5 years with the old money included is $23.26. Boswell received a signing bonus of $8 million as a part of his extension, and that is fully guaranteed. His new 2022 base salary is set to be $1.76 million, and that is guaranteed for skill, injury, and cap. Pretty good. Pretty good. So basically what he has here, roughly 23, let's see, what's he getting? Yeah, I think it's a total of $23,260,000. But hey, listen, hats off to him, man. Hats off to him. I'm not mad at that at all. New yearly average of $5 million per year. And like it says here, ties Justin Tucker. You can't be mad at that. Listen, it's $1 billion sport. And I know sometimes as fans, for whatever reason, we get stuck on the money. Like, oh, I'm not paying a guy that much and da-da-da-da. Why not? They're in $1 billion industry. I am not mad at the value for positions to go up and continue going up. Those guys who are able to make an NFL roster and be significant on the roster and contribute deserve to get paid because those owners get paid. So hats off to him. Hats off to him. Shout outs to Chris Boswell. Next on the agenda, let's talk a little bit here about some of the early camp standouts. Yeah. Now, I don't know this to be true. I'm just going off of reports. But the names that I'm hearing significantly is Myles Jack, George Pickens, Jaylen Warren, and Mark Johnson. Now, I've heard a couple of people say that Myles Jack is having a pretty solid camp so far. It's still early, but to kind of quote what Alex Kazor said, he said he's been consistently good, right? Consistently good, even on plays that maybe, I know there was a play floating around where Gentry was able to catch the ball, but Jack was right there. And, Gentry is 6'7", 6'6", whatever he is. But they're saying that he's in position. He's diagnosing the play. He's, helping to communicate. He's always where he wants to be or where he needs to be. You can't ask for better than that. And again, if you've seen Myles Jack play, we all should know what Myles Jack is or isn't, even when he played against us. Myles Jack is a very talented linebacker, inside linebacker who can fly all around the field, and he seems to be a very smart player as well, and it's good to hear that. And not just, from reporters, but you're hearing some of the players mention that as well when they talk about him. That is good. Somebody who's consistently going to be where they're supposed to be and consistently good, I can live with that because we haven't had consistency at the inside linebacker for a little while now, ever since Devin Bush got hurt. And even before that, we were looking and trying to find an inside linebacker to replace what we had in Ryan Shazier. So hopefully, Myles Jack can give us flashes of that just in terms of his play, not comparing him to Shazier. I'm just saying in terms of his consistency, speed, being where he's supposed to be, being around the ball, tackle machine. Thank you, because I think he's going to make Devin Bush and Spillane better. It is interesting to hear that they're rotating Spillane and Bush. It's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Listen, I want Devin Bush to bounce back this year, but I'm not opposed to rotating those guys if you got a three-headed monster. If you got all of these guys playing well and you're using them situationally, I'm not mad at that. Think about some of the defenses that you've seen over the recent years, right? And just think about from a defensive line standpoint. And some of those teams, they'd be like, these guys are able to get at the passer so much because they pretty much have an 8-man rotation. If we can get positions like that, like inside linebacker where we have a 3 to possibly 4-man rotation, I'm not mad. Keep them fresh. I just want Devin Bush to play good ball. You know what I'm saying? I just want him to play good ball. If he can do that, we're good. I don't need him to be great because I think Myles Jack is probably going to be the better inside backer for us this season. So that's what I got real quick on Myles Jack. Also, we're hearing a lot about that boy George Pickens, but I'm going to come back to George Pickens when I talk about Diontae. So let's table that for a second. We're hearing a lot about this kid, Mark Johnson, man. The converted linebacker, used to be a running back, the kid from Ole Miss that we drafted him, I believe, right? We drafted him, was that the 7th round, 6th or 7th? They're saying that he's so far playing as advertised, a thumper, a downhill linebacker. And they're saying that he's showing a few understandings of pass coverage. Not really saying that he's flashing, but in terms of being that guy that, hair on fire and just playing downhill, he's showing that. Said he did a pretty decent job so far in the last couple of days with backs on backers. So that is good to hear. A thumper, a Vince Williams type. We need that because maybe, again, you can use him situationally. Or let's just say he turns out to be something. And maybe he starts to be in that 3 to 4 man rotation. At this point, I just want the best guys. I would like to see UG3 do something, but UG3's time is slipping away. I would like to see Buddy Johnson do something because he was a decent tackler in college, but it doesn't seem as if he's progressing as much. We're not hearing his name, and he's already got a season under his belt. So it's going to be an interesting battle at inside linebacker. I cannot wait for preseason, guys, to see who's doing it and who's not. But I'm good to hear about Johnson. Kind of disappointed, man, that Tyree Johnson got cut already, to make room for the receiver. That's interesting. Because you think of all of those guys at the bottom of the barrel, like those UDFA types, and TD Moultrie, is that his last name? Seems like he was able to stick over Tyree Johnson. And, again, I just thought that maybe he had a little something there, and, him being able to, play along with Leal. I just thought maybe he had some pass rush ability, but obviously, listen, these guys do this for a living. These NFL coaches, scouts, personnel guys, they do this for a living. So obviously they're able to see something with him to allow him to get cut that soon. It's unfortunate. But it is what it is, man. At this point, it's about who can stick and who won't. And also, I think that's it, right? I said all of the names. Oh, Jaylen Warren. Here's an interesting one about Jaylen Warren. Remember what I said, guys, is I didn't necessarily want that type of guy in the rotation. I would prefer to have a speedster, more shifty type of guy somewhere on the lineup as a running back. But we keep hearing about Jaylen Warren, and they're talking about his demeanor and his tenacity. Y'all know how I am about attitude when it comes to running backs. If this guy can play special teams, he might find his way on the roster. But the only thing that kind of upsets me a little bit, if let's just say the Steelers only keep 3 running backs, then you're going to more than likely have Benny Snell and Jaylen Warren, who are kind of all cut from the same cloth, spelling Najee Harris. I would prefer a more speedy guy, a change of pace type of guy. So I would hope that a guy like Anthony McFarland can step it up. A guy like Mateo Durant can show something. Jeremy McNichols can show something. Unless they plan to keep 4. Maybe they're able to sneak Warren on the practice squad. We'll see. But that's my only concern there. If he's flashing so much and making such an impact, it's early. But I'm just saying, if he continues to do that and the Steelers are forced to keep 3, maybe they don't do a practice squad running back. I'm just not going to be as satisfied with the change of pace type of back if Warren is the guy that wins the job. Again, if I root for all of the guys who are there, I'm just speaking on preference right now. I would prefer a different style. But round of applause, man. We got a donation here from Still Elite. Round of applause, Still Elite. Leonard Green said, Benny Molasses. He said, noticed a lot of talk about the quarterback play, mostly bad. People need to understand they're playing a top 5 defensive unit when healthy. Stay calm and give them time to grow. Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about that too, really quick. Listen, it's always funny how fans are able to throw quarterbacks or any player in the trash just off of what they hear from training camp. Because think about it, most fans aren't there. Most of the fans that are ranting and raving and leaving comments on Twitter and all of that, they're not there. They're going off of someone else's opinion. I'm not there either. I'm not there at all either. So I'm going off of reputable sites that I know what these guys look at. Like, I know the detailed work that Steelers Depot does. That's why a lot of times I tend to listen to them a little more when it comes to assessments, like Alex Kazor, because he does a good job at it. Now, nobody's perfect, but he does a relatively good job detailing what each player is doing, what each player is. So I kind of trust that opinion a little more than others. Because I've already seen somebody says this guy's good, another guy said this guy sucked. And it's like they saw a play. But when it comes to the quarterback position, everybody is making all this fuss about, oh, Kenny Pickett doesn't look like this. Oh, Mitch Trubisky is that. Oh, Mason Rudolph it sounds like he might be the starter. Guys, we don't know any of this. Now, you can get all in your feelings right now before seeing anything, but I'm not. Because you know why? Preseason is going to show all of us what's really up. It's going to show us all what's really good. And the funny thing that I laugh at is some of the people who are making all these crazy comments. Y'all know I don't forget nothing. Y'all know anything I see, I remember. Some of these same people were the ones campaigning for Kenny Pickett. Now they mad that he's down in the rotation. But wouldn't you prefer him to be able to sit and learn and develop? Or y'all just want him to be out there day one? And then also some of these same people are saying, well, he's a guy that's going to have to develop. Okay, so why y'all overreacting off of anything that he's doing in the first week of training camp? Because for as much as I've seen Kenny Pickett has struggled in an area, reported, I've also seen reports saying, oh, he made a perfect throw in this scenario. But at the end of the day, this dude is a rookie. They post a clip of Malik Willis making a nice throw to a guy, and then all these people, see, we should have drafted him. Man, all I know is let the games play out. It's too early for me to be assessing any of these dudes. Any of these dudes. Any quarterback that went. It's too early. Let me see them play. Preseason will show us all what time it is. And again, I believe the intention was not for Kenny Pickett to start in 2022, at least not right away. That's exactly why the Steelers went and got a guy, a veteran that can run the offense in a Mitch Trubisky. I believe that Mitch Trubisky is going to be the starter. Now, what if Mason Rudolph wins the job? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to root for him because I have no choice at that point. So I just tell all of you guys to calm down. You're just fans. Okay, some of us know a little ball. Some of us played some ball. But dog, we gotta have trust in these people who are doing it professionally, getting paid to evaluate, coach, and everything else that goes with that. Gotta have a little bit of trust in them. There's no way that all of us sitting here know more than those professional coaches, professional scout personnel. Now, I'm not saying that we can't be as knowledgeable, but I'm saying one thing that they have over all of us is they're seeing these people on a daily basis. We're sitting on the couch. So all we can do is have trust. That's it. Because I'm also hearing about Mitch Trubisky making some dime throws on the run and everything. So stop listening to all the reports. Every single report about a bad throw here, a bad throw there. Oh, the offense is struggling. Well, you know what? Good. That means the defense is playing well. I'm cool with that. Y'all remember how much Ben started to struggle against the defense in training camp? Do y'all remember that? I see people talking about all of these interceptions and all that. Do you know how many interceptions Ben Roethlisberger was throwing in camp just last season? And that's Big Ben. So, guys, don't read so far in, especially we talking about what, it's been 6 practices now? I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. But again, listen, if all of these quarterbacks are playing relatively decent, I'm cool with that. Because I'm one of the ones who said that I don't think Mason Rudolph is complete trash. I still think there's something that could be built on. I just don't know if it ever will. I don't know if the reindeer will ever get it. But I do think from the games that we saw that he played well, I think there's something you could build on. I just think that his ceiling is not too high. So I would rather see another style QB. I'd rather see a guy in the mode of a Mitch or a Kenny because of what they can do with their legs. I'd rather see that as opposed to what we think we know about Rudolph. So that's what I got. What else? Is that it before we get to Diontae? Let's talk Diontae real quick, man. Then I'm going to open it up to phone calls, and we're going to wrap this thing up in under an hour, or at least by an hour. Listen, I got to take me a little sip of water here. And I'm going to throw the question to y'all while I take my sip of water. Are the Steelers going to pay Diontae Johnson what the market says he's worth? Do you think it happens? That's more than a sip, right? I love water. I drink tons of water. Okay. Omar Khan says they want Diontae Johnson. That could just be GM public speaking. Thing is, if the Steelers want him, are they going to pay him market value? I won't pull up the stats and all of that because I did that on a couple of weeks ago, one of those shows that I showed you guys. I went from the 20th to the 1st and where these guys' salaries lie. And like I said, based off of that, Diontae Johnson is going to me, he falls in between that $17 to $20 million a year average based on what these other receivers are making. He just does. That's not me saying whether he's worth it. That's not me running his numbers up. I'm telling you guys from the business of the NFL and what these receivers are making now. And from the list that I ran off a few weeks ago, it might have been more than 20. We might have did from 30 on up. Diontae Johnson absolutely falls between the $16 to $20 million per year range. He just does. Look at what these guys are making. And all of these receivers that are getting signed, all these dudes that recently get signed, and Debo, and again, some people can say, well, Debo does. Well, go look at Diontae's stats. Listen, take some of them drops off the table. Diontae Johnson reduced his drops last year. The drops started showing back up later in the season last year. We all agree on that. But if you take it aside and you compare him to other receivers, the drops aren't as bad as we thought in comparison to some of these other dudes. And the numbers are right there. Receptions, right there. If not leading in some of these categories. He's going to make between $16 to $20 million. To me, that's a guarantee. His agent is going to start there. And again, look at these other dudes that are considered in his class. So it's not about, is he going to get paid? The question is the Steelers going to pay him? Interesting question, because I don't know. Omar Khan says he wants him. Omar Khan used to be the numbers guy. I'm sure he can figure out a way to make it work. And is this a new era in Pittsburgh? TJ Watt broke the mold in terms of non-quarterbacks getting paid. And the dominoes started to fall. Minka. See what I'm saying? Will this be the first time we see a receiver? Not the first time, because Antonio Brown, you could throw in that mix, but what's going to make it different with Diontae is the guaranteed bread, right? The Steelers now for 2 contracts, TJ and Minka, they've gone outside of their norm of making the guaranteed money be your signing bonus and keeping it significantly low. No. They're starting to give you a little more money up front now. So is this going to be the first receiver that gets that chunk of guaranteed bread? We'll see. It all comes down to how much Omar Khan wants him on the roster. Am I opposed to paying him? I'm kind of 50-50 because I do think that these wide receivers are starting to grow on trees a little bit. And even though they grow on trees, there's still some dudes that's a little more special than others. We might just have one. I'm not getting so excited. It's still early. I want to see it for myself. But George Pickens everyone is saying, yeah, as advertised. Just the little things that he's doing so far. I can't wait to see it for myself in the real game action. Remember, guys, George Pickens is an ex-receiver. So, on a 50-50 standpoint, are the Steelers looking at him and saying, hey, this could be our potential future? We don't have to pay Diontae what he wants because we got this kid for at least 4 years, including this season. And if he shows out in his third season, by the end of that season, we restructure him and extend him. They said he's already playing in multiple spots, but he is a natural X, which is what Diontae Johnson is. So that leans me towards, I don't know if they do it or not, because they don't have to. They don't have to. They might already have somebody waiting to take that spot. So I think it's going to come down to how much the Steelers want him. I don't know, man. I don't know from a business standpoint. Do you think that Diontae Johnson is that important to the offense, which I think he is. He was. I think he definitely was with Ben Roethlisberger in that style of play. He was the guy. He was the guy that Ben Roethlisberger trusted. He was the route running guy. He was all of the above. Because, George Pickens is still going to have to improve on those type of things, route running and all of that. But no doubt about it, Diontae Johnson was the guy with Ben. But is he as needed in that capacity in this new offense, where I have the feeling it's going to be more spread the wealth? So to that, I say I don't know. And I think it's a bigger chance of the Steelers not signing Diontae Johnson than it is them signing Diontae Johnson. Those are just my quick thoughts. But I like him, man. What up, 757? That's my man in here. 757 is another VA native, guys. And I'm with him. Look, Diontae a bad boy. I'm just thinking about it from a business standpoint. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I'll say this too. I'm not going to be mad if they pay him. You can never have too many great athletes. You can never have too many great receivers. So just think about that combination for a moment, and we're going to at least see it for a year. But Diontae, George Pickens, Claypool if he emerges, Calvin Austin with the speed. I mean, you got some threats out there. So I'm not opposed to keeping them, man, if it makes sense. But I just don't know if they will. So I don't have a real answer for y'all. But it is time for the phone calls. So we'll take a few calls, man, and then we'll get out of here. We already got 4 in the queue. So again, y'all know the routine. Bop, 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 bop. In and out. I have to be done within an hour. And we have exactly 22 minutes and 43 seconds of that hour remaining. All right, first in the queue, we have our good buddy, Mr. Winterham, area code 803. What you got for us tonight?
Good evening. I see Diontae Johnson as an incredible asset that we don't want to pay him. We can do many things with. Dallas needs a wide receiver. Aaron Rodgers needs a wide receiver. The Jets aren't too high right now on their offensive tackle, but Mekhi Becton. I see us doing a lot of things with Diontae Johnson. Possibly pay him now, trade him next year. We can do that. But I see a lot of things right now that we could do that gives us a lot of flexibility. I'm hoping that Devin Bush gets his act together. I hope he's not avoiding tackles this year. I'm sure with Brian Flores, they're going to get him to shore up a lot of things. So some of that time may be taken away by Robert Spillane or one of these other young linebackers. Well, I hope everybody has a good night and a great week. Thank you.
Man, thank you, Mr. Winterham. Appreciate the call as always, and appreciate you setting the tone with the time. That was perfect. Yeah, I mean, Diontae Johnson could possibly be somebody we can look to shop. It's probably going to be a team that either is ready to win now or a team that can kind of have the wink handshake deal in place saying, hey, we're going to restructure you as soon as we trade. That could possibly happen. So there's a lot of different things that could happen with Diontae, man. But again, I'm not going to be mad either way. If the Steelers feel like they got more talent to bring in, they're super good with drafting receivers. They did it with Diontae when I didn't even know who he was. And look at what he is. Or if they keep him, I would be happy to keep him because the kid is a baller. So there you have it. Next up, area code 651. What you got for us?
What's up, Sam, man? I'm going to try to be as fast as possible. All right, so I said at the beginning, I like Warren, the way he's built, the type of football player he is, quick feet, get inside those tight spaces good, and got the power to kind of move through the hole. That's one of my best traits for a running back. I love to see that power, but just have enough speed to kind of get outside. All right, I think they're going to offer DJ a deal with less guaranteed money up front, and you're going to be more incentive-based. But if we're going to trade him, I want a young cornerback that's showing promise. Or 2 or 3 years in, I want a good cornerback because it seems like it's hard for us to really find them. And that's what I want out of it. We can find a lineman somewhere else. I would rather get a young cornerback if we're going to trade him. Devin Bush is in trouble. He got some dogs behind him. And if he don't get his stuff together, that first-round privilege is gone now. This last year, it's gone. Now it's best dog wins. And Tomlin is best when he got multiple dogs fighting for that bone. I don't care what the position is. And now he can do that at quarterback and linebacker. So it'll be a problem. And the last thing is I understand the offense struggling because we spent a lot of money on this defense. And we got a younger quarterback now. All he has to do is just make enough plays. That Kansas City game in the playoffs, we weren't that far away. Our offense just couldn't get nothing done. Part of it was the quarterback. Some of it was the play calling, but play calling and the quarterback go hand in hand with a lot of it. So that's all I got, man. I'm going to get out of here.
Man, thanks for the call, man. A lot of information and definitely quick as well, so I appreciate the timing on that. And I'm keeping up my end of the bargain. I'm going to be short with my replies. Yes, young corner would be great. Curious to see, though, if there is a player-for-player type of trade that we might be able to pull off. But the reason why I think that's a great idea in general is cornerback is a position we definitely need to take a look at. Let's see what Levi Wallace is going to be. Let's see if Akello is going to keep up what he was. And, yeah, that cornerback position is a little thin when you get past him, him being Akello and Wallace and Sutton. I'm not mad at that at all. Devin Bush, yeah, man. Devin Bush, yeah, he needs to step your game up, son. You're gonna have to, because I think the leash is a little shorter this year. So I hope he gets it together. I really do. Got to recognize Still Elite, man, for the donation. Round of applause. Still Elite says, if Diontae gets paid, then Claypool walks. Yeah, that's kind of the nature of the beast. And I wouldn't be mad at that. Listen, Claypool honestly has to show me something this season. He got to show me a little more flash. And then I want to be having that conversation about him next year. Like, man, should we sign him or let him walk? But Claypool, I think this is a prove-it-to-me year. Not just to me, but to the fans, to the organization. He's got to bounce back and be a significant contributor this year. Definitely does. Let's see. The next one is area code 859. What you got for us? Hello, 859.
Yo, what up, Sam? This is Carmichael, the sports guru, and I'm going to be quick.
Sir.
I just wanted to say, DJ, man, the Steelers got all the leverage they can possibly want in this scenario just because, he's still on contract for another year. So I would make him play it out because if you pay him, you do lose Claypool. And you get to see what Claypool can do next year and Pickens and Austin. Like, we got a repertoire of weapons we can use. So we don't just have to act out of desperation like most of these organizations do because they need to lock and seal these players or they not contending for nothing. You know, we not Seattle, we not San Fran. Like, we have a defense that we depend on, and it's a reason why we the highest paid defense, because that's how we want to win games. We don't want to go out there and force feed Diontae 100 times and hope he can juke and make his way into a touchdown. Like, we got weapons, and I think it's going to be more scheme dependent with Canada, these double tight end sets. Like, I just don't think he can do the same thing he did last year without Ben Roethlisberger. So I feel like we got the most leverage, make him wait, and then if he ball out, pay him, you know. But if he don't, then just let him go in free agency. And I just want to add this. The offense is going to be a little different next year. It's not going to be the Ben Roethlisberger offense. It's going to be the Matt Canada and scheme and matchups. So it's going to be more matchup dependent. And, yeah, he can get open, but I don't think he's going to – how can I say this? I don't think he's going to put up the same numbers he did last year. I think Move's going to lead us in targets. It's just going to be a different strategy. So I don't see – by paying this year when we can wait and play the wait and see game. But that's all I wanted to add. Peace out.
Man, Guru, that's an outstanding point. And that's just a fact. The offense is going to be different. And, you know, he may not be the guy putting up the gaudy numbers because it's a different style of offense. Like my man just said, it's going to be matchup based. It's going to be we spread the wealth. It might not be any solo receiver that has gaudy numbers. And if the Steelers know that going in, if that's the mentality, we don't know, but I'm just saying, if that's the mentality of the structure behind Canada's offense, then they're not going to pay him. Unless he just has a ridiculous, you know, type of season, even with that style offense. So, all in all, Guru is right. The Steelers have the most leverage, and that just is what it is. All right, man, we're breezing through these calls. I thank y'all, man. I thank y'all. Keep them quick, guys. We got 14 minutes left. Area code 313, what you got for us?
Hey, what's going on, Sim? This your boy
What's going
Duke
on?
from Detroit. I'm just checking in right quick. And what I wanted to say is, everybody's talking about Devin Bush. From what I'm hearing from the guys at camp, I'm looking at Ramon Foster, Matt Starks, and they're reporting on him. Everybody's saying he's having a pretty good camp. So until they start playing the preseason games, they just put on pass the last from yesterday to today. Until we get into, like I said, the second week of pass and everybody hitting, then start making your judgment. Everybody giving Mason Rudolph all this glory. I said again, he playing and it's no pass, it's football in shorts. He's playing with the second team against the second team defense. Now count you that Kenny Pickett is playing with the third team. They just moved him up yesterday to play with the second team. You're going to get better production from the second team than the third team. And that's all I'm saying. Same thing with Mitch Trubisky. He's going up against the first team defense, which is going to be harder to play against. So you got to wait till those guys get their chance playing against the number one defense and what you will see on game day. Do not go by that second string stuff because you're not playing with the first string receiver, second or third. You got to wait and give these guys a chance, like you're saying, to develop. This is just a little time. And with Diontae Johnson, he's in a bad predicament seeing that sit in because as long as those young guys are out there playing and they're showing their worth, and if they get out in the preseason and ball out what we keep hearing from training camp, and I'm hearing Anthony Miller's doing pretty good, and these guys start the ball, it gives Pittsburgh more leverage on him if we want to bring him back or not. And if Claypool get back and he start developing in that slot, then it really makes him could be the odd man out, and he can be value if they want to use him. Just keep him for the season, and then you will see who the contract go between him and Claypool. But he set that up himself, listening to his agent. He needs to be out there doing what he needs to do because remember, in the history of Pittsburgh, you can go with Plexico Burress, you can go with Santonio Holmes. The Steelers will let great receivers go. That's been in their thing for the longest, even with Mike Wallace. So that's a dangerous game to play with the Steelers because they do not like they say, we not to be having hostages. That's all I got. Y'all have a blessed one. Thank you.
Man, great call, man. I appreciate that. And you made an excellent point, and I'll be brief with it so I can get to the last call. Look, man, two great points. Like you said, the people who are out there, like ex-players, they're saying Devin Bush is doing decent. So who you going to believe if you're going to believe somebody? And that's why I like to just wait to see what these. I got two of these like everybody else. I don't have just two ears. I have two eyes. And my two eyes is going to allow me to see for myself. Now, I can listen to respectable people and say, okay, if they're saying that, okay, cool. But at the end of the day, once we see it, we all going to know. So let's see this man in action before we start judging just off of tweets from some of these people who you know ain't got no business rating no players. But like you said about Diontae, man, yeah, that's all I'm going to say to what you said. Yes, I agree. That could very well happen. Bad predicament for him to be in, and he's not showing. We know his value, yes, but you're going to mess around and allow these new quarterbacks, let's not forget that, with the exception of Mason Rudolph, these new quarterbacks to get chemistry with everybody else. So even that could interfere with your production. Let alone that we think the offense is going to be different. Bad situation, man. But hey, it is what it is. Get your money, young man. I ain't mad at that. All right, guys, last call of the night. Keep it quick for me. Area code 937. What you got for us?
Sim, what's up, my brother? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
It's your boy Johnny from the 937. Remember, I am the Art Stiller 937. Yes. Listen, man, just number one, thank you for taking my call. So I'm always excited to get on here. You know that I'm trying to keep myself calm. You know how we get a Stiller Nation. But I'm going to quick comment on the topic, Diontae Johnson, DJ as we call him. My son said, made a comment. He said he was unclutch, whatever unclutch is. Every receiver drops balls from time to time, even the great Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, and we can name a few more. But in those third down situations and in clutch situations, that's what hurts us, just like that Kansas City game last year. But I'm not down on Diontae. I believe, as everybody in life, as time goes on, you improve. So I say, and I would like, and I also agree that, I think they will sign him, but with a bunch of incentives. That's what I think, man. They're going to sign him with a bunch of incentives, man. And, let it be a good deal, but you got to make sure you got to produce, As the previous caller's right. For some reason, we've done well with receivers over the years, and, so I'm pretty sure he's feeling a little pressure right now with all the new accusations and all the new additives and such. And next thing I want to say, Jalen Warren, man, Miss Angie, one of our 937, one of your subscribers, she called it. She said, I think that guy's going to be special. We'll see. I know it's early on, but Mike Tomlin gave him praise. I wanted to comment on that and say, yeah, the little guy, I like how he's built for running back, short and wide and, to the ground. You know what I mean? Last but not least, I'm going to keep it too long. Miles Jack. I love Miles Jack because every time I see an interview, this guy is glowing. He is happy to be a Steelers. And as you know, I am as you are, Sam. Attitude means a lot to me in football. Attitude means a lot, man. And you can tell he's happy. I believe, we'll see if I'm correct, I believe we'll probably have him the rest of his career. He's a bad boy. If you recall, 2 years ago, they whooped our butts, the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And, yeah, man. And Miles Jack had a lot to do with that, if you recall. You remember that game, bro?
I do. He scoop and score against us.
Yes, sir, he did. I mean, that's just one time, but he made some other significant plays. So now the enemy is our friend. So I'm very excited, man, about this brother, man. I think he's going to make a big difference, man. I love his attitude. And I guess I'll stop, man, because I have a tendency to go on. Peace and love. I miss you guys. Steelers Nation, bless you. Hey, it's going to be very exciting. Only a few more weeks, man. We get to see a preseason game. We get to see some real football. Y'all should be excited. Peace.
Man, my man Johnny, appreciate your call and always look forward to your call, brother. You've definitely become one of those. And let me say this real quick before I forget. Yes, it's funny. I was going to text Kenyon and Tony today and say almost exactly what you said about, it's just something about Jack, man. Like I watched his interview today and it's just, you can tell a lot about a guy, how he talks, how he speaks, the passion, his character. Not the same guy at all, but I say the same thing about Najee. Najee's a totally different character, but I like how authentic Najee is. I can tell who he is. I can say the same about Miles Jack in terms of he loves football. Man, even the little bit that he said today about, the protective headgear, he's like, yeah, I'm all for safety and all that, but he was like, man, I don't like it, man, because it creates like this airbag effect and you can't really feel that clank, that crunch. Can't feel my teeth shake. He said, I want to feel that collision. And like you said, you could tell that he is something about him being where he's at. He's glowing, he's ready to get after it. The way he speaks about Flores, and again, I ain't got to keep going, Johnny, because you made the point, so you know exactly what I'm saying. So it's funny that me and you said the same thing there. We're thinking the same thing. Yeah, man, listen, Diontae, we'll see. That's all I can say about that. We'll see. And before I wrap up, man, I'll speak a few more minutes here, but I know you guys have seen me bob my head a little bit. Just been jamming to the music, man. I'm gonna let y'all hear it real quick, man. A little southern flavor. Y'all tell me what y'all think about. Yeah, man, just a little southern flavor there, man. That's kind of has some ATL inspiration. I lived in Atlanta, for a little while, so I felt like taking it down south on this latest track that I built. And I know some of you guys are interested in that stuff, so that's why I figured, I might share a little bit of that with y'all. But anyway, let me take the headphones off now. I saw somebody say something interesting. I think it was Jordan Mid. Jordan Mid said, he said, why does Steelers, it said something to the effect that we're spoiled, that we think that we could just automatically draft another star receiver. You know what? I'm going to actually agree with that. The Steelers do a good job with receivers, but it is funny how sometimes us fans just assume things. Like everybody keep talking about drafting Jordan Addison. Who's to say that he's going to fall right to our lap? Like, that's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. It's just not. And it's not a guarantee that you're going to draft another star. However, I will say this. I will hang my hat on the fact that the Steelers have been very successful drafting receivers. So am I confident they would find another dude that can stand out? I am, because the track record is there. Look at George Pickens. Looks like he could end up being a superstar. Super early, I'm just saying. It looks like he's one of those raw talent dudes that could end up being a bad boy. So, just thought I'd say that. But anyway, guys, I'll spend, as you can see, about 2 minutes left. I'll read a few comments and then I'm out of here. Claude Bishop said headache music. Yeah, man, that's that ATL bounce right there, man. Kenyon said he just needed blessing. Boy, let me tell y'all something. Kenyon got them pipes on him. Heard a little piece of it the other day. Let me see. What else y'all got? What's up? My man, 757. He says, listen to the Pittsburgh Steelers draft the best in the league for years at wide receiver and don't know who the hell he said wide receiver coach, who your wide receiver coach is, but he's pretty damn good. Yeah, man, they do. We cannot deny that. The Steelers do an outstanding job with receivers, man. I mean, if you just go way back, They just have done an outstanding job with receivers, man. Oh, my man in the building. Diego Santiago. Listen, guys, that's one of my best friends in the world right there. And the crazy thing is, we were just texting each other the other day. Man, we haven't seen each other in years. He lives in Richmond, right? And y'all know I go to Richmond here and there, but I'll even take most of the credit and most of the blame. Should be ashamed of myself, man. I haven't seen my man in so long just because we live in different places now. But we were just talking in the text the other day saying, look, we got to get up. Because unfortunately, man, it's some people, you know, in our class, like our high school class, and, you know, got people are passing away and stuff. So it's like, man, listen, time and life is too short, you know, to not be around your people. Like this is my dog. So y'all say what's up to him. He's a Commanders fan. That's my man right there, man. One of my best friends in the world, man. Oh, Diego. Well, you probably already know. Your boy got mad beats now. I be making crazy beats, bro. What else y'all got? Really quick, I'm about to get out of here. As you see, the time's up is there, but I'll give y'all about 2 more minutes. The Real Deal says, this be a good beat for Ye to rap on. Maybe. This would be a good beat for me to rap on if I was still doing it like that. Your boy used to be nice, man. Yeah, Kenyon, man, listen, let me tell y'all. Kenyon was showing them pipes off the other day. Pause. I got to say pause right there, but. Are you allowed to still say pause? I don't even know. Are you allowed to still? Let me back out of that before I get in trouble, but. Leonard Green says, I'm a fan of boom bap. Me too, to my heart. Oh, I got something for you too. I love the boom bap, man. I'm just well versed in music, man. Jordan said, yeah, you are. All right, one more thing. Give me something real quick about the Steelers, man, before I wrap up. Any other questions y'all got about the Steelers, comments, concerns, and I'll get out of here. When you gonna spit some bars? I don't know. Maybe one day, man. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Tyrone Johnson says, peace from the 757. What up, 2 up, 2 down? That's our VA brethren right there. And like I tell y'all always, I might live in Pennsylvania and been here for many years, lived in D.C. VA is forever where I rep as my home. Born and raised, baby. Richmond. Anything else? All right, here's one last one. Jordan says, I still have concerns about the run block and haven't heard much of the running game. Yeah, man. That's why we have to see preseason. We have to see preseason, fam. Because, yeah, we do. Because, yeah, practice is practice. We got to see preseason so we can see for ourselves. But outside of that, man, oh, yeah, real quick, let me comment on that. Yo, keep your eye on Kendrick Green and Kevin Dotson. This is interesting. Because they're doing a rotation, and y'all know how I feel. Why are you doing a rotation if you're not even expecting one person to win the position? They keep doing this rotation. And you could even say that about the inside linebacker when it comes to Spillane and Bush. But let's keep our eyes on that left guard position, because the fact that Kendrick Green has played left guard with the ones, that is interesting. Kevin Dotson didn't have the most fantastic season last year. Kendrick Green is a natural guard. We shall see. But all right, man, I'm going to wrap up, man. Like always, y'all know what I'm going to remind you to do. Make sure, if you like what you see, for some reason I don't see it here. My subscribe notification. I don't know. Maybe I took it off. But anyway, if you like what you see here tonight, man, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It don't cost you anything to do that. If you're on YouTube, if you've made a comment here tonight, it's easy for you to subscribe. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, same thing. It don't cost you a thing. It costs you a little bit of energy to take your finger with the mouse and hit the thumbs up. Simple. If you don't like it, do the same thing, because you know what? It all helps. It all helps the algorithm. So help me. I have no shame in saying that. Let's grow this thing together. But outside of that, man, make sure you turn on your notifications so you know when videos are streaming. Anytime pre-recorded videos going up, how else will you know if you don't have your notifications turned on? Last but not least, definitely thank you guys coming through tonight. Shout outs to my brother, my man, Diego, Snoop as we call him. Appreciate you coming through, my brother. And we definitely gonna hook up at some point, man, for sure, for sure. But I appreciate everybody else for coming through as well. Always remember, man, stay safe. God bless. Good night. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Terrible Towel Tuesday. Catch you the next time. And I'll let y'all rock out again to some of that ATL bounce. Peace.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.